Today, you'll find everything you need to know about training and how to make your players progress as much as possible in this video. So let's get started. To start, you need to understand how player potential works. It's very confusing. When you start a career mode, you may have one player's potential, and when you start another game, that potential may change. This is simply the way the game is, to make each game unique. Now, we must also understand that potential is dynamic. But that doesn't mean that if a player has a maximum potential of 94, they'll reach a rating of 99. It's actually more correct to say that player progress is dynamic. For example, a player may progress only 2 or 3 points one season and increase by 10 points the next. On the contrary, in the first season, they may progress by 5 points and in the second, by 1 or 2. Once we understand that player progress is dynamic, let's explain training. I'm going to tell you the best training sessions and the reasons for each one, but first, you need to know that training is the key to player progression. Although it may seem slow since it won't suddenly increase your player rating by 10 points, if you don't miss a single week and train as many sessions as possible, your players will have made significant progress by the end of the season. I'm going to tell you the most important training sessions that you absolutely must follow in Soccer Manager 2026. First, there's tactical training, as it's the training that will increase your team's chemistry, a very important variable in your team's performance. If you don't train tactically, your players will have a much lower maximum chemistry than if you train them. Second, the most important thing is physical training. For 2 reasons. The first is that it's the only training that restores your players' health. Therefore, if you want your players to have the maximum possible energy for your next game, this training is key. The second reason is because this year's meta in Soccer Manager 2026 is the players' physical attributes. Your team will have better results the better their physical condition, so improving physical attributes is important for any team. Now, whether players progress more quickly or less depends not only on each individual player. It also depends on your level of training facilities, since the higher the level, the more training you can include in each session, and therefore, the more they train and the more they progress. But the most important thing is your coach's attributes. This is where you will enhance training sessions. This is where attributes will improve much more quickly, as the percentage of each training session will greatly increase. I emphasize again that with this, all you're doing is helping players reach their full potential faster. If their maximum potential is 94, for example, at the highest level, the coach and training might reach that 94 rating in just 4 seasons. With everything at the minimum, they might reach it in 9 seasons, or they might not even reach that maximum potential and remain at a 91 rating. Finally, once you've unlocked more training slots, you can set a maximum of 2 of the same training sessions. Therefore, I recommend that you set the extra training you unlock in the first manager attribute to physical, as it's the most important training. Then, in the other training sessions you unlock, you set the training sessions based on the most important wonder kids you have on the team. For example, if you want your forwards to reach their full potential sooner, you should set the attacking training for midfielders, the technical training for defenders, and the goalkeepers, the goalkeeping training. That's the whole explanation of player progression and the best training sessions. If you have any questions, I'll answer them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss anything about Soccer Manager 2026.